how do we end on a how do we end on a good note with everything that's been everything that's been going on? Um,
To look at the bright spots of the
uh,
pandemic.
yeah. Look at the bright spots of the pandemic. Conversations are happening, even if libog pa kayo siya. But like, okay, since we were talking about the internet and how the internet
Mm.
kind of fosters a very kanang a kind of thinking that nga dili mo prioritize og fact checking, dili mo verify ingana bitaw. Um, if I'm going to be just hopeful about it, the internet is mura siya this huge thing that we humans are still trying to make sense of, and
Oh, for sure.
yeah, I'm kind of relying on on our ability to self organize. Because if I, like for example sa Twitter, kung when I look at the conversations on Twitter, makaingon ko nga, wala, dili bugo ang mga tao sa Twitter, in fairness. I mean, yeah, na mga toxic nga mga batasan didto, which is on every platform na amang na siya. Pero if you look also at the conversations that are happening there, it is kind of kanang hopeful ba nga bisag ako malingaw na kung basag Twitter kay mas nakoy makatunan dito, um uh with the thoughts that the people that I follow are sharing about what's happening in the country, what they think about certain issues, or bisag ang humor lang magani funny, lingaw ra pod ang Twitter humor itself. It's developing also on its own, so I'm also learning stuff from there. But just I guess the general understanding lang sa mga tao, there are pockets of, I'd like to believe, I kind of like to believe na there are pockets in the internet where ang pagsabot sa mga tao kay ning lambo, nagpalambo sila sa pagsabot sa pamatasan sa mga tao, sa pagsabot sa mga tao, sa ilang pagsabot sa mga panghitabo sa nasod kana. I'm really hoping that these small pockets also kind of spread, and these conversations, the better conversations, um spread bitaw eventually kay I
Well, what
and which will eventually lead us to 2022 nga mamutar tang tanan. Mamutar na tang tanan, please. As in mo
well,
gina siya.
I'm not
Kana na
sure
lang.
about. I'm a little bit pessimistic about
Uh,
2022, but
but
no,
truly, no, truly
but
ako pod. Pero murag, oh my God, wala, I don't know who's going to run yet. I mean, maklaro naman siguro kinsa, pero kanang, if it will help ba, murag na ako dito sa if it will help, oh, mukuan ko, butar ko, kasi the last few elections, mura mo kung kanang disillusion, makikuan to, murag, bahala po di kanang, muna ako feeling ba, butar ko dito, pero I didn't really care, because I didn't believe in the system, I didn't believe in whoever was running at all. Um, so karon, mura siya, if my vote can help, I'll figure that out later. But if my vote can help, I'm gonna go out and vote. Inana siya, I guess, is that's the most hopeful that I can get for today.
well,
Sad kayo, no?
I'll give you another thing to be sort of hopeful about. So, like you were
Uh,
talking about the internet, no? If you think
uh,
about it, like I'm not sure exactly what date, but the internet was quote unquote born in like sometime in the mid 90s, whatever
uh,
it is, something like that.
uh,
So the internet is a 20-year-old, is in its mid 20s, right?
right,
And
right.
that's a very young person. I don't know how old you are. I won't ask, but like, you know, I was a schmuck at 20, like in my mid
uh,
20s. Like I didn't know anything. Like I
oh
still
yeah.
don't. Like
Uh,
you know, so
yeah.
and then you
Oh,
can and for sure all of the young people um growing up now, like they're gonna have their own issues for sure. Like they're gonna
mm,
have their own like kind of issues that are like uh uh special to their generation, no? Like kind of with this whole
mm.
like the 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 echo chambers and everything
Mm.
of social media, but they are infinitely more infinitely smarter than me when
Oh
I
yes,
was
they are.
their age, for
Yes,
sure,
they
right?
are. Actually, yes,
right?
they are. Oo, oo. I
Like,
mean, katong lang daan mga katong sa just going back to the this katong unsa gitong nahitabo kang Trump gani nga there was this Trump was gonna do this rally and there were tickets whatever and then it was the Gen Z kids who started
oh
buying
yeah,
the tickets until nahurot ang tickets and then gamay ra ang turnout sa mga tao na dito sa murag
uh,
dang I mean kana na murag ay very good mga kids kanindot ninyo oy nindot lagi mo diba so ako mo agree ko ana nga they're ultimately like way smarter um at their
yeah,
age now than when I was their age. Like a feeling na ko kay wala jud ko'y nahibaw-an jud ato. Sige ra ko kubog ato eh. Aw, oo mo ino magyapon ko karon. Pero like wala jud ko'y um I don't I wish I knew then what I know now or at least began to understand things in the way that I do now ba unta and then I probably would have become a I don't know better siguro kung a person karon if I knew more things but then that makes me very proud of the kids now yes I'm glad that you guys are have the kind of understanding that will help you a lot in the future the kind of understanding that I didn't have when I was your age and I'm glad about that I'm glad that the younger ones are much smarter that gives me hope for the future kay murag lisod pud kayo no kung mas bugo sila nato murag wala na mga extinct na tang tanan mga
yeah.
extinct ang tanan kung
Their issue, I think their issue is going to be. I mean, I could be speaking out of my ass, but like, I
yeah
think their issue would be like, kanang, like they have so much choice in front of them
oo
that they won't know what to do, and also at the same time, they won't have the kanang, it,
decision
you know
paralysis
the
murag na
yeah, or like the decision to put yourself out there also, like
oo
I think what happens is what you gain with age is that you just care less about what other
yeah
people think generally,
yeah
and when you growing up without social media, that comes up. You learn to care less about what other people think very early on in life. I
mm
feel a lot earlier on than kanang the kids now, because the kids
mm
now, like they have like they. I really think this. I really think some of them will struggle with that. Like kind of acceptance through social media.
mm
I don't know, kind of get like equating likes
yeah
to self worth, kind of that whole thing. So
being that they are digital natives sila that I think that's possible but also there's also this other possibility nga I'm not sure if I remember this correctly but I think I read something in the not in the recent past like maybe a few years ago about because there's so much digital stuff going on hi
say
there's so
hi.
much digital stuff
Okay.
going on
I'll, see, I told you this was gonna
oh
happen. I'll go there later.
it's
Okay.
the
We're almost done.
hi ka-cute uy in town buyag pila edad
It's 5.
ano ko oh my god very tiny human anyway so where was I because there's so much digital stuff going on nga I what I'm seeing that's possibly mahitabo po is like they might reject it then there might be a huge chunk of them that might also kanang more reject sila ani ba because they grew up with so much of this social media and so much of this whatever and eventually they'll grow up and they'll go no I want to go back to the old phones I want to go back to the just the call and text because that's what really all that I need that maybe a huge chunk of them are going to go I find social media um ridiculous murag ingana ingana siguro ang na possibility nga ingana ang ilang turn out sila like that and then they become more sensitive to in turn they become more sensitive to like the more important stuff, I guess.
That's
That's
probably
yeah,
possible. I don't know
yeah.
if they will go the route of getting like a dumb phone, no, but
Uh-uh.
I think, but you've I don't know. Do you? I'm blanking on what it's called exactly. Katong,
Mm-mm,
like the kids. So a lot of the kids they have like, let's say, Instagram, right? So they'll
mm-mm,
have two Instagram accounts, no?
mm-mm.
One Instagram account which is like basically a secret account, which
Yeah.
is like them and their like super close friends lang know about,
Mm-mm,
and they just
mm-mm.
post whatever. And they have another one which is for the public, which is for like kanang, hey, I'm at the beach.
Aha. Okay.
Kanang,
So
you know,
they're aware of I think so. There's an awareness nga kanang none of this. This is fun. We know that this is fun, but we know that none of this is true. So we're just really here to have fun. We're nasa laingan na nga kind of awareness, which is I think is good. And in a way, kay dili sila they don't fall under the illusion of kanang they don't fall under the illusions that a lot of the millennials were kind of victim to when Instagram started or Facebook started, when Twitter started and all of these social media platforms. Nasa na yan ng awareness. Okay, that's
yeah,
good.
for sure.
Oo. And I think
I
we should,
hope. I mean,
yeah.